Go.
Okay. Yep. All right. So, I don't know what exactly we can see. I think it's me. So, welcome everybody to your Dota 2 news. I'm M Target. Steven's still here. He's just in the middle of moving and has a
Yeah.
bird chirping in the background all the time.
Well,
So
my microphone died is why I'm muting myself mostly.
that too. So, anyways, we're gonna do as some of you I'm sure noticed, Battle Pass predictions are now available, though they're not the easiest to get to. We'll put it that way. So we're going to go ahead and walk you guys through how to get to it, and then we'll walk you through how to predict. Also known as we're going to argue about who to bet on.
Yeah. Also, this is for the Dota Pro Circuit, so this is for MDL Major, which is going on right now, as well as after that ESL1 Birmingham, and after that the China Super Major. I forget who's sponsoring it though.
It's actually, as far as I know, it's still just listed as the Super Major. China Dota 2 Circuit. I think it's technically Perfect World. Yeah, it's PGL and Perfect World, meaning Perfect World is doing 90% of it, and PGL just gets to show up and do all of the media stuff because Perfect World can't seem to find anybody they like in China to do work after the Shanghai Major.
Yeah, so gonna click over to my screen so you can see how to get to it. And once again, my microphone is broken, so M Target will be doing most of the talking.
All right, so as y'all can see right here, we're gonna navigate from sort of your home page. We're gonna assume that you already own the Battle Pass. If not, hopefully you can figure out how to buy one. Then you're gonna click on the Battle Pass page, and you're gonna go here, and you're gonna stop here. Don't be like me and click on the compendium and freak out for 20 minutes trying to find it. Go here, and then as you can see where his mouse is circling right now, there's the Pro Circuit predictions underneath your Daily Hero Challenge and next to your friends. And you can click on, it'll show you how many tokens you have remaining, which should be 25 if you haven't done anything. Then go ahead and click Show Predictions. And when you do that, it's going to launch in your browser because Volvo can't code. And it's going to take you to a page that looks like what was just on screen there. And yep, it's going to look kind of like this, only first it'll say something like you need to log in via Steam if you haven't done that already. And there'll be a little page up that says something like, here you can bet on, wager tokens on who you think is going to win your Dota Pro Circuit matches. And as we said, this is for this current MDL Changsha Major, then ESL1 Birmingham, followed by the China Dota 2 Super Major, and any other DPC events that may be coming up, also known as TI. So although that one might actually be in browser by then.
Yeah, that'll. I imagine that they did this just because they didn't want to bother programming it into the actual game. So now it's just all through your browser.
Yep. So and as we mentioned before, this is straight up betting. You are given a pool of tokens at the beginning, and you are allowed to bet them across the entire tournament. Excuse me, as you can see, there's the past matches on the screen, and those obviously have the results happen. And, you know, for our sake, Steven hasn't actually bet yet, so we can go through that process, and you can allocate these, in this case, 25, but your amount will increase or decrease based on how well you did.
Yeah, we are, as you just saw, recording this on Thursday night, and these are the 3 games that are currently scheduled.
And these are scheduled to happen in a few hours, I think. Actually, let's see, because it's local. Where's mine? Yeah, so they're scheduled to start in about 4 hours from now. So for that first IG versus newbie match. So with that said, it's as simple as clicking select a team, and then when you click on it, you can choose how many tokens to wager, and you just press the little up and down arrows. You can wager as little as 1, or you could technically wager 0, but then you're just not betting at all. And as many as your maximum quantity, which for us, those of us who haven't done it yet, will be 25. And if you are feeling oh so bold that you just want to put everything in on 1, you can just do that. There's nothing that says you can or can't. Or you can be more like me and spread them out a little bit more. So, Steven, do you want to go ahead and just live bet yours first, and then we'll talk about mine? Or do you want me to talk about my bets first, and then you can do yours?
Well, mine is pretty easy, because that's it.
Yep. So Steven, as you all can see, he believes in Vici Gaming more than VGJ Storm. I'm the other way around. We'll get to that in a second. Invictus Gaming versus Newbie. Again, I put a little bit on that. He's not worrying about it because, quite frankly, if you all are feeling at all in the true, okay, let's look at the stats and go from there. PSG.LGD did just win Epicenter. So yeah, they didn't have a great showing in the group stages, but they just won a major. And on top of that, IG Vitality did do worse in the group stage than they did. So, there's both of those things going for them. And I do agree with him. I did bet on LGD as well. So my predictions where I put 15 in on VGJ Storm, a lot of that is purely on the, you know what? I'm rooting for them. They've had a great run in the upper bracket. Yes, they beat OG and Team Secret. Team Secret, I thought, looked really good. OG's OG, so we're going to kind of ignore that. Vici Gaming had a bye, and then they beat Mineski. Now, yes, Vici Gaming did go 3-2-0 in their group, so they did do well, but primarily it's them versus Mineski, and I watched those matches. They didn't look that good, and Mineski looked awful, in my opinion. And that might have been because they had just, they had to play TNC not long before, and it had been a long day, blah, blah, blah. Excuses. At the end of the day, that series did not look great. So I'm rooting for VGJ Storm anyways. Go big or go home. I put 15 on them personally. Now, of course, Steven, as he said before we went live, he was like, Vici Gaming does amazing up until the finals in almost every tournament. And he's right. They consistently make top 3.
Yeah,
that's where they are right now. That's my thing.
Yeah, the reason I'm going with Vici Gaming, like he just outlined, Vici Gaming is usually really good up until the grand finals. They have a really extensive body of work. They've been good. They've been actually really good the entire season, even though they haven't locked up a spot the way that Secret, VP, and Liquid have. They've been consistent, and not many teams have been outside of those top 5. So I'm going with Vici Gaming here over VGJ Storm. It's possible that I'll be going that will bite me in the ass, but
it's only 10 of your tokens.
Yeah, so. That's what. Meanwhile, I'm actually a little bit reluctant on the 15 I'm dropping on LGD. The only reason for that is because it's a best of 1, so it's always going to be a roll of the dice in that situation. But LGD just won Epicenter. IG Vitality, I'm not entirely sure how they ended up here. So, LGD is by far the better team. Again, it's going to be a roll of the dice because it's a best of 1, but LGD, definitely the better team. Definitely.
If it was a best of 3 or best of 5, I would have gone all 25 on PSG LGD.
Yeah, for sure.
He's down.
But that's why I'm hedging a little bit with Vici Gaming. Now I'm going to click submit. So that's locked.
Oh, and this is what will happen when you submit. You get these little locks that show up. It's just like, ooh, you did it. Okay, cool. I mean, and it does look nice. There's some good web dev here. And then I do have Invictus Gaming over Newbie, again, purely based on body of work at this event. I don't care about anything outside of it because 1, we just had a massive meta change, and 2, consistency doesn't matter in these situations. Like, especially in the best of 1s between LGD Vitality and Invictus and Newbie, like, those are best of 1s, anything can happen. And in the VGJ Storm versus Vici Gaming, again, for me, that whole VGJ is hot right now speaks a whole lot more to me than Vici Gaming's body of work. Again, that could totally bite me in the ass, and Vici Gaming could do fine. And if it was a best of 5, okay, maybe I'd be a little bit more hesitant. But I think in a best of 3, VGJ Storm has enough power and also a deep enough hero pool right now that they can just work through it and do well.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen many, many, many times over the entire competitive Dota 2 history that being hot and being a pretty good team that's really hot is better than being a really good team when you're in this kind of situation.
TNC at whichever TR that was now. I forgot. Was it 6?
It was 5.
5? Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was 5 or 6. But yeah, when they knocked out OG, like, nobody expected that. except for those like probably 5 Filipinos that bet on it and made a shit ton of money.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm not like. It's always going to be up in the air, but these are my predictions.
Gambling.
Yep. Also, the tokens will reset after a week, and you get another 25, which you then can repeat this whole process on. And should note that this is how the current. I'm going to zoom in. This is how the current bracket looks for Changsha Major.
Yep.
And you get these games now because, again, these are the ones that are scheduled. Come this time tomorrow, it's going to be OG versus the winner of this series and TNC versus the winner of this series. And you can bet on those at your leisure. Again, these predictions are only going to be valid for the next like 3 hours. So after that,
but process is still valid for betting on OG versus winners, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And also, we're both on Twitter. Links in the description. I don't get enough notifications that I won't notice if you tweet at me, so feel free to reach out.
And same. I mean, I get enough that I might miss it, but in all reality, I do my best to stay on top of things. But really quickly, because I've got, speaking of Twitter open, the coach of Secret, Sunby, just tweeted, "So at Snake King came up to us day after our loss and said, I think you guys are pretty good. Keep it up. One day you guys might even beat me." And he said, "What a goddamn inspiration. Thanked TY based King, hashtag one true king," and then posted a picture of Gary from Pokemon. So I think that Secret does not think that VGJ will be beating Vici Gaming. But again, I think that a decent team on a hot streak, like VGJ Storm is, can do some serious work against VG Gaming, especially because VG Gaming had an interesting run through. So, again, I don't know. The other thing is, really quickly, if you're betting, like if you're making like just little like joke bets with friends and you can bet into the draft, always bet on IO to win. IO has a disgustingly high win rate at this major.
Yeah, which won't necessarily apply since we're getting these weekly patches. But right now,
I mean, well, yeah, and weekly or bi-weekly insanity.
Yeah. Anyway, that's about it for now, right?
Yeah, that's 100%. I'm just looking at matches, and right now I'm seeing a like stupid high win rate for IO.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to bother going into Dota or Dota Buff and actually parsing it out, but
anyway, that's it for now. Again, hit us up on Twitter. Subscribe, because once we get the regular predictions, we will be doing those fairly regularly. Either we or just me. Either way, we're going to be we'll be on top of it. So have a great weekend. Have a great betting session. Make sure to do it before they reset next week. See ya.